during the 50 years of Maharishi Mahesh Yogi teaching the transcendental meditation technique worldwide, he also brought out a series of very powerful advanced programs, all designed to accelerate the development of consciousness and further promote the growth of intelligence, our creativity, our health, happiness, and success that's already taking place through the regular practice of our TM and TM City program. Now, I've been told you've had quite a few presentations on the Vedic disciplines, and that may be including yoga and Stapachaved, Maharishi Ayurveda. So today I'd like to introduce another advanced program that Maharishi has brought out for the growth of higher states of consciousness, and also to create harmony and peace in our immediate and distant environment. It's called Maharishi Vedic Astrology. It's a science and technology of prediction and transformation, sometimes referred to by its traditional name, the Maharishi Jyotish program. Now, the Sanskrit word Jyotish is translated as light, and it refers to a supreme value of vision, something akin to a comprehensive insight as well as a broad foresight that comes from the expansion of awareness. And the technologies of Maharishi Jyotish or Maharishi Vedic astrology offer practical knowledge of past, present, and future based on total knowledge of natural law, a holistic level of intelligence known as all-knowing consciousness. Now, I'll start with a short overview of Maharishi Jyotish, and then we'll introduce some of the components of the birth chart or horoscope known as a kundali. But let's begin with a few fundamental points about Maharishi Vedic astrology or Maharishi Jyotish. Maharishi Jyotish gives the understanding that the cycles of natural law are concretely linked to the orderly and precise movements of the sun, moon, planets, and stars. The science of Maharishi Vedic astrology explains how the laws of nature are responsible for the various experiences we encounter in our path of progress, and how and when certain specific trends in life sequentially unfold from the very moment of our birth. Jyotish is a precise mathematical science of prediction and transformation, which calculates and analyzes the cycles of time, and also the influence they'll have on us as an individual. Jyotish identifies any specific periods that might need extra attention in order to ensure a continuation of life in accord with natural law, which administers all streams of our life. Maharishi Jyotish Pandits from the traditional Vedic families of India use mathematical formulas cognized by the ancient Vedic seers to calculate these recurring cycles of nature and then identify their effect on many areas of our life. One of the services of Maharishi Jyotish program is a personal consultation by telephone with Maharishi Jyotish Pandits. In these consultations, you learn about trends and events that may be emerging in the near or distant future. They also provide an opportunity to gain an understanding of our personal strengths and our weaknesses, and to ask detailed questions to assist us in making better decisions. Now, the tool the pundits use for this analysis is the birth chart or kundali. And as I mentioned, we'll be looking at the constituents and the structure of the kundali in just a few minutes. But before we move on, we must note the special value of Maharishi's contribution to this Vedic discipline. Just as Maharishi restored the proper understanding and practice of meditation, he also reconnected the field of astrology to its source in consciousness. Consciousness, Maharishi explained, is an ocean of intelligence and creativity. It mirrors the unified field also described by modern science, which upholds all of creation. As such, it is beyond time, beyond space. It's called the home of all the laws of nature and commands all fields of life. So it's a source not only of the past, present, and future, but the level of total knowledge to be enlivened to support our path toward enlightenment. It is on this basis we are fortunate that our generation can now speak of Jyotish as Maharishi Jyotish, a Vedic science of consciousness and a technology to develop consciousness. And as you can imagine, there are all kinds of very practical benefits from knowing something about events and trends before they emerge. Let's go through some of those. It's obvious that the knowledge of future trends is a very precious gift because knowledge gives us organizing power, so we can plan properly to prevent mistakes or take full advantage of unexpected opportunities. Knowledge confirms our intuition, which has been developing through the TM and TM City program, giving us greater confidence and power to fulfill our desires with least effort. Knowledge of the future is a powerful tool to support the art of living and gracefully accelerate our personal evolution. And the total knowledge and technologies of Maharishi Jyotish align our individual intelligence with the timeless, unbounded level of nature's pure cosmic intelligence, which has structured the entire universe. This is the key to making our present and our future bright. I think you're starting to get the idea, I hope, that Maharishi Vedic astrology is more than just the study of the planets and their movement in the faraway sky, or even that it's a program to integrate the past and present and future. Maharishi Jyotish is actually a complete system for the development of higher states of consciousness. Maharishi comments on the revival of the totality of the science of Vedic astrology. Let's listen to his words. Don't shy away from Jyotish because until now you have not known it. Hardly anyone has known the effectiveness of Jyotish. They know from whatever the astrologists have been predicting there and there, but in this traditional study of Jyotish is the study of one's own consciousness on a very authentic level of the text of the Veda. So let's remember this one point. Maharishi Jyotish is the study of one's own consciousness. And of course, this is why everyone enjoys Maharishi Jyotish, sometimes called the most charming of all the Vedic technologies. It's nothing other than the study of our own self. And that means our small self and all of our individuality, our likes and our dislikes, our ignorance and our wisdom, our trials and our triumphs, as well as our large self, as in the most expanded cosmic value, and of course, everything in between. And what could be more delightful than that? So let's summarize this introduction. Jyotish offers knowledge of future events in life. It's called Maharishi Jyotish because it's been revived in its purity and effectiveness to reflect the deepest values of nature's intelligence that are lively in human consciousness. Point 2. The Maharishi Jyotish program supports our evolution and enhances the natural benefits of Transcendental Meditation program by providing the knowledge of what influences may come in the future. And point 3, it is on this basis that we can make wise decisions in favor of a life-supportive direction and avert dangers that may hinder our steady progress to higher states of consciousness. And that, my friends, is the ultimate value of a brighter future. So now, before we go on, I wanted to show you the Kundali. And we'll start with some general principles and then get into something more specific. Now, as we said, the Kundalini displays the laws of nature influencing our life's journey. It's like a snapshot of natural law at the time and place of our birth. And here is a sample Kundalini showing the configuration of natural law embodied in the planets and stars at a particular time and place. Those of you who are familiar with Maharishi's writing, Science of Being and Art of Living, will recognize Maharishi's description of the role of the laws of nature. It's important to understand this. He said, the maintenance and evolution of innumerable beings at the innumerable levels of creation are carried out by a natural and automatic process governed by natural laws. The purpose of the laws of nature is to regulate progress in life, to promote evolution, and ultimately bring fulfillment. So, laws of nature are our friends. The Kundalini describes the influence of natural laws and how and when they are expressed. Think of it as a blueprint of our life. Now, the big question is, what determines that blueprint? Who drew that map of my life? And why are there differences in our individual birth chart? The answer is that all values contained in the Kundalini are simply reflections of the consequences of our own past actions. In the Kundalini, cosmic intelligence displays itself based on the consequences of our own past decisions and behavior with others and our environment. So let's look at this a little more closely. We know that every action has an equal and opposite reaction. This is a law, a principle of modern science. Now, it's also a principle of Vedic science. This is known as the law of karma. Now, karma means action and its consequences. As Maharishi once commented, millions of years are distilled into this one point of our time of birth. And this is what is demonstrated in the Kundalini. So then the next question is, what causes good or bad fortune? The answer is that we create our own karma and our own future through each decision we make, either in the past or in the present. Everyone knows, as you sow, so shall you reap. Embedded in every action is both the timing and the quality of its reaction. So each time we trigger this cycle of karma, we can expect to and absolutely have to eventually take responsibility for what we have created. Now, fortunately, this is where Maharishi Jyotish comes to the rescue. It alerts us to what is coming so we can prepare to remedy past mistakes or be ready to capture favorable opportunities as well, and also to make better decisions to avoid more bad luck in the future. Let's listen to what Maharishi says about this extremely important principle of karma. This is the tradition of knowledge of the whole human race in any part of the world. Everyone knows that you get delivered what you order. Whatever you have ordered, that is awaiting you in proper time. And then just to remind us that our present circumstances, our good fortune or our bad luck, is determined by us every single day, Maharishi adds these points. So whatever we do today, that perfect order in creation, which is in itself innocently evolutionary, that knows what we know. What we have ordered for tomorrow will get that thing. So let's just summarize this point. We, right, our own present and future by the decisions and actions we took in the past. And it's the laws of nature functioning throughout the cosmos that keep track of the timing of the reactions of our past behavior. Vedic mathematics of Jyotish simply calculates the influence and the timing of the inevitable rebound from our past karma. Maharishi continues, the science of Maharishi Jyotish is able to mathematically calculate the influence that has been created by our past actions and which will return to us at a particular time and place. Now, one of the big advantages of this knowledge is that it brings tremendous organizing power that we can use. And then we can make kinder, wiser, more life-supportive choices in our life. So again, the Kundalini shows us the present and future, but is actually a snapshot of our past history as well. But we should always remember, the past is a lesser state of evolution. It's our present that's more developed, especially for those of us who transcend twice a day. It gives us then the opportunity to create a much brighter future. It's based on greater attunement with the cosmic intelligence of nature. So along with all of Maharishi's programs to develop consciousness, Maharishi Jyotish helps us to live in harmony with nature, with full support of nature, by showing us how it is influencing our path and how we can avoid problems and seize opportunities for progress. So the conclusion is, as evolving residents of planet Earth, we need to recognize this intimate, eternal, and profound connection between ourselves and the entire universe. And we can thank our lucky stars that we have access to that source of unity in nature within our own inner nature through the technologies of consciousness, especially our Transcendental Meditation and TM City program. To conclude, I thought you might enjoy hearing how some great men and women describe this relationship between the individual and the cosmos. Let's start with the ancient Greek philosopher Plato. He described this relationship between the individual and cosmic intelligence in these words: perhaps there is a pattern set up in the heavens for one to see it, and having seen it, to find one in himself. It's so beautiful. It really captures the knowledge. Here's another profound expression of the unity of creation and interconnection of life from an exceptional woman of magical skills, Mary Poppins, as narrated through the great author Pamela Lyndon Travers. Mary Poppins said, "The same substance composes us, the tree overhead, the stone beneath us, the bird, the beast, the star. We are all one, all moving to the same end." That Mary Poppins really knew her Vedic science, didn't she? So we've heard from Plato and Poppins, and now Pythagoras. This great ancient Greek mathematician observed, "The stars in the heavens sing a music, if only we had ears to hear." Now, this is exactly what Maharishi Jyotish shows us, how to better align life with the evolutionary stream of nature from the level of the unified field, our own self, or Atma, the level of all-knowing consciousness. And then we discover in the deepest sense that the individual is truly cosmic. So let's summarize this section in 3 points. 1, the Kundalini, or the birth chart, is based on the starting point of one's life. It contains the total knowledge of our individual path of evolution. 2, the constituents of Jyotish and their interactions within the Kundalini express the total potential of the governing intelligence of natural law, past, present, and future. And point 3, this cosmic intelligence and organizing power of nature is nothing other than the supreme value of our own creativity, lively in the field of transcendental consciousness, our own self, Atma. So now we want to look at the structure of the Kundalini and learn a little bit about its constituents. So this is the Kundalini. It's very simple, but I find it very elegant. And I've learned to never underestimate the power of the knowledge that each line, each number and 2-letter abbreviation represents. Together, they contain the script of the entire story of one's past, present, and future. Maharishi commented on the potential of the Kundalini. He referred to it as the little lines on the page capable of capturing the totality of life. The Kundalini is based, as we mentioned before, on the time and place of birth. This is the starting point. And it's said that the time of birth holds the total knowledge of one's life's potential. All knowledge is contained in that starting point. It's just as when we take the first step of a journey, we're aware of our destination and the route to get there. The moment of birth is like that. It's the first step of our life journey, and the Kundalini is the map containing the total knowledge of our individual path of evolution. So now let's look at how the ocean of consciousness, Atma, and all the laws of nature take expression in the 3 key components of the Kundalini. Here are their names. In the houses are called bhavas. The signs of the zodiac are rashis, and planets are called grahas. These are just loose translations. This first diagram represents the fundamental layer of individuality. It is here on the golden field of cosmic creative intelligence. The red lines of the Kundalini reveal the structure of individual life. Now, as you can see, the Kundalini is made up of a series of triangles and squares with 12 divisions in total. These 12 compartments of the Kundalini are the houses of the birth chart, known as bhavas. The 12 bhavas form the first layer of expression of the Kundalini. Each bhava has a name and a set of characteristics. And eventually you'll see that the portfolio of each one is enormous. In fact, every function of human physiology or activity or area of society or even thought or feeling can be located in one or more bhavas. The bhavas include a wide range of material and non-material values. So you can find money and cars, food and houses, each will have a bhava. In addition, more abstract non-material values such as courage or fear, creativity or logic can be located. Social relationships are also represented, such as family members. You can see your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your spouse, or business partners, competitors, friends and enemies, or teachers and students, for instance. All can be located in one or more bhavas. Values of spiritual development, health, wealth, or happiness are all found in the bhavas. Here's an example of some qualities of the bhavas related to success. This is from an exercise the Maharishi Jyotish Pandit assigned us during our Maharishi Jyotish Foundation courses. As you can see, each bhava contributes a different value of natural law. Support for success can come through the intellect, through our speech, one's vitality or confidence, knowledge, or so forth. These are just some of the factors analyzed during a Maharishi Jyotish consultation when considering the potential for success for a new venture. By the way, when we did this exercise with a group in Kiev in Ukraine, I asked what was related to success, and they said it has to be the fourth bhava, which is the bhava of the mother. He says, because you cannot have success without your mother. Good point. Another point about the bhavas is that they are universal and neutral in nature. That is, they're the same for everyone. But we'll see that they begin to assume specificity, qualities, and attributes of individual life as other constituents are added to the chart. And remember, all values contained in the Kundali are simply reflections of the consequences of our past actions. We designed our own Kundali. We are the authors of the story of our life. Now, in this next diagram, we see the layer of individuality added to the Kundali called the Rashis, one placed in each bhava. Each Rashi is designated by a number, as you can see here, which represents the sequence of the 12 signs of the zodiac. Now, they're called solar constellations sometimes because the sun moves through them over the course of a year. Now, here we see the 12 Rashis, their numbers, and their Sanskrit names. Each Rashi has many distinct properties, and when placed in the bhavas of the Kundali, they create an atmosphere that's quite unique. For example, when Singha Rashi is placed in a bhava, it imparts a quality of royalty and dignity, and the individual would reflect that in that area of their life. When, for instance, the Kark Rashi, which you might know as Cancer, the fourth Rashi is placed in a bhava, it creates a motherly, protective atmosphere. And like that, each Rashi structures its unique value of natural law wherever it is placed in the Kundali. Now let's go on to the next layer of the Kundali, the Grahas. Each is identified by a two-letter abbreviation representing the name of the 9 Grahas. Placed in the Kundali, they interact with the other constituents of Jyotish and describe our past, present, and future tendencies. Each of the 9 Grahas display different influences of nature's intelligence. Now, Grahas are roughly translated as planets, but they're more than simply huge balls hanging in space. Grahas are part of the administration of natural law, which governs the entire universe. They can be understood as the forces of nature, which influence our progress in all areas. Graha also has a meaning which can be described as grasping or seizing. And as such, they exert a strong influence on our brain or our cells and even our DNA. There are many, many ways a graha or a set of grahas can color our feelings, thinking, and activity in a positive or a negative manner. That's why it's good to have knowledge about them. So now we see the 3 components: bhavas, rashis, grahas. This is what makes up the Kundali or birth chart. Now, there's another constituent of Jyotish known as nakshatras. There are 27 nakshatras. They're related to the movement of the moon through them, and passing through, it takes about a month. They're sometimes called, therefore, lunar constellations versus solar constellations of the Rashis. Now, nakshatras aren't seen directly in the Kundali, but they have a very powerful influence on every aspect of the birth chart and our lives. So it's important to remember that all the constituents of Jyotish are bhavas, grahas, rashis, and nakshatras are just the vocabulary by which we can quantify the functioning of natural law. Let's hear how Maharishi comments. He said, the whole essence of all the terms of Jyotish is that each term has a significance in the characteristic quality of nature's intelligence at that particular time, at that particular moment, and in that particular sequence of relationship of point and infinity. And remember that when the pundit looks at our kundali, he is looking at the expression of our own consciousness. That's why Maharishi Jyotish plays such an important role in our spiritual development. It reminds us that every step of our connection to our cosmic potential and nourishes and protects us at each step of our evolution. Jai Gurudev.